2 runs, give up 2 walks as well, and she was removed earlier than expected in that game. So she'll look for a bounce back here. She appeared against Rutgers in a relief role last weekend and at Piscataway for Oregon. And a dominating weekend there the Ducks had across the country. So I think this is a comfortable situation for Taylor Spencer, a Monday afternoon, early afternoon game. She has the talent for sure to shut down opposing lineups. And this LMU team, though, we mentioned it, have had success as of late. Had a really good weekend against Oregon State. We'll see what they can do against Taylor Spencer.
So stepping into the left-handed batter's box to lead off the game for LMU, it's the sophomore center fielder Justin Lambert, and on the home rubber pitching for the Ducks, as mentioned, the right-handed sophomore for Oregon, Taylor Spencer. Ducks ranked number 6 in the country. They're on a 9-game winning streak right now, trying to improve that up to 10, get to double digits. And Jonah, the Ducks, a very good team overall, but a very good team at home, 15-1 at Jane Sanders Stadium this season in 2025.
Yeah, it's hard for any team to come in here. Head coach Melissa Lombardi talked about it after Saturday's games, how good this home field advantage is here in Eugene.
So Lambert into the box, Spencer into the circle, and us up to the mic. Spencer set, and the first pitch of the day is swung on and cued foul, 0-1. First pitch of the day, 12:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pitch dipping down in the zone by Spencer, and she jumps ahead.
Transfer originally started her collegiate career at Howard University, did Lambert, and she's been put into this leadoff spot in the lineup this year for LMU.
Swing and a miss. Spencer starts the day with a strikeout. Got Lambert to chase out of the zone. 1 up, 1 down by way of the K for Spencer here in the first.
So difficult in this day and age here in softball, Division I level, to sit down, strike out the leadoff batter, top of the order in the lineup. Such a contact hitter more times than not for every team's leadoff batter. And Taylor Spencer off to a good start.
First pitch to Ariana Hodeke is fouled at the plate. 0-1. And Oregon and LMU, two teams that played each other a season ago in 2024. They played at the Campbell Cartier Classic in San Diego, California. And it was the LMU Lions taking the first one from the Ducks by a score of 4-0, but the next day, Ducks got their revenge, beating LMU 8-0. Oregon is 9-2 historically against LMU. Spencer's 1-1. Showing bunt is Hodeke, drops it down, short down the line. It's fair. Rosa fields and throws in time for the out. It's a good play by Bracy Rosa. You got to be quick, cat-like reflexes, hop out of the crouch, and then fire a good throw onto first.
Yeah, I think to come out of the crouch like that, but also when she makes the throw, she is right behind Hodeke getting down the first base line, so she has to make a throw just to the left of Hodeke to get it to McCoy, right on target. Quick 2 gone here in the top of the first.
So 2 up, 2 down brings up Socorro Harvell. First pitch from Spencer, swing and a miss. Went with the velocity that time, and Harvell, trying to get aggressive, was late on the swing.
I think for LMU too, Tariah Flowers, 4th year as a head coach. She's brought a lot of success to this program. Reached the NCAA tournament 3 years ago.
1-2 flipped foul. McCoy running down the line, but it's on the roof of the Lions dugout. They're housed on the first base side here at Jane Sanders Stadium. Now Spencer quickly ahead, 0-2. Next pitch will be her 10th. Spencer stares into Rosa. The 0-2 wind. A little bit outside. 1-2. See Rosa trying to bring that one back.
Part of that defense and how she's gotten better, I was mentioning before, and that's another aspect of her game behind the plate, her framing. gotten to top notch.
Hit hard out to left field, but right at Kyle Luchar. Didn't even have to move a step, and it's an easy. Carrera, a 6.56 ERA this season, although she hasn't thrown that many innings. Her first pitch sails high to Kyle Luchar, 1-0.
Yeah, just her second start of the year. Didn't play last year, redshirt freshman here in 2025. Has only pitched just over 5 innings so far this year and hasn't started a game since the middle of March.
Second pitch to the AB, first strike, fired in by Carrera. It's 1-1 to Luchar. And Jonah, it's a really tough assignment. You talked about in the open how tough the non-conference opponents has been for LMU, playing teams in the likes of Oklahoma and Arkansas and Duke and UCLA, but now you've got to face Oregon on the road, especially with a pitcher that doesn't have that many innings thrown on the season, a really tall order. 2-1 to Luchar. She takes a little bit low.
We were talking about it during break. It could be challenging for Oregon offensively. There's not a whole ton of film to study on for Carrera this year, so could keep this Duck lineup off balance at least to start and try and allow your offense to get some production early.
3-1. Luchar showed bunt, but pulled back because the pitch was inside. It's a 5-pitch walk to begin the ballgame for Kai Luchar. And now, Jonah, there's a chance that we could see some history today. Kai Luchar enters this game 1 stolen base shy of tying the all-time season stolen bases record. She has 40 so far on the season. We'll see if she tries to even up that mark right here in the first inning. Paige Sinicki is the batter. Shortstop batting second for the Ducks. Carrera's first pitch. Luchar runs, and now she changed her mind. Went back to first base. Jim Gotchian, the catcher, stared her down.
Yeah, you know Kyle Luchar is getting the green light. You would think from third base coach Sam Martyr. And you know she has the speed. She has the aggression to do so.
Luchar is running this time. The throw down to second. No chance, and there it is. Kai Luchar has tied the all-time stolen base record in a single season, her 41st steal of the year.
Ties her with Susie Barnes back in the 2007 season for Oregon. And there's still a month of the season to go.
1-1 to Sinicki. She takes away and low. It's 2-1. Ducks have been patient so far. Kai Luchar did not swing the bat leading off, and Sinicki hasn't threw the first 3 pitches of this AB.
You mentioned it. Good to see Paige Sinicki in the lineup. Was removed from the third and final game against Michigan on Saturday night.
2-1. Sinicki bunts, drops it down the first base line. It's picked up, thrown, and it gets away into foul ground. Luchar racing around third, was just running the whole way. Comes around to score Oregon's first run, and the Ducks take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Just a perfectly placed bunt, and talk about Kai Luchar's speed, but Paige Sinicki is not too far behind her with how fast she can get down the first base line. You see Harville trying to come over from second base, just can't get there in time. Throw was on target, but Harville just wasn't there on the bag to make the catch. Heads up base running 2 by Luchar to keep her head up, round third, and come home.
It was a late cover by Harville and couldn't get her glove to that throw. So Oregon ahead of LMU 1-0. And I think
it's got a pitch clock violation.
Yeah, I think an automatic ball. Perhaps to McCoy. No, an automatic strike. So it's 0-1. McCoy swings the first pitch. It's hard down the third baseline, and that one is a foul ball. The home plate umpire ran down to rule that one foul. It's Trina Comerford behind the dish, Brian Kuhn at first base, and Adam Micheloni, the 3 umpires in today's contest. So after the automatic ball and 1 pitch, a foul, McCoy finds herself down 0-2 behind Carrera.
Yeah, so the violation goes against McCoy. You got to wonder if it just took too long to get into the box between at-bats. Not something you see very often.
0-2. McCoy takes high. Sinicki dancing off first, but doesn't draw a throw. Riley McCoy this season, take a look at the numbers. Insanely impressive. As a freshman, 446 average, 33 runs driven in, and 13 home runs. The 1-2. McCoy upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You already saw one piece of history get tied. Kai Luchard tied the single-season stolen base record, now with 41 in total. But Riley McCoy, a chance to make some history herself, is one home run off tying the single-season home run record for an Oregon freshman. Here's the 2-2. Sinicki runs the off-speed tie, throw down. It's going to be close. It gets away out of the glove of the shortstop, Loomis, and Sinicki swipes second base.
Sinicki might have got bailed out. The throw might have beaten her to the bag, and if Loomis is able to hold on to the ball in her glove, might be called out, but it just slips out of the snow cone out of the glove. Benefits Paige Sinicki at second base.
I'll take it. It's a pretty good throw by Jim Gotchian, but just got away. Here's the 3-2 to McCoy. She swings, hits that one, line to second base, caught by Harville. They get the out. That's all they get. Sinicki heads up base running, dives back into second. So McCoy lines out. That's the first out of the bottom of the inning.
Again, heads up base running Paige Sinicki. Line drive, doesn't get too far off the second base bag. Able to retreat in time, never had a chance to double her up at second base.
Brings up Katie Flannery with a runner in scoring position. First pitch to the at-bat, Flannery takes on the outside corner, 0-1. And Katie Flannery has been really impressive ever since Big Ten play. Had that big series against the Huskies to kick things off in Seattle. .330 average, 9 home runs for Flannery, and 38 runs driven in. She takes that one in the similar spot, and quickly behind 0-2.
Only had one hit against Michigan. Past 3 games, did have a sacrifice RBI, 38th of the year.
0-2, Flannery watches it away. Carrera trying to paint that outside corner.
Flannery has really become the staple cleanup hitter in this Oregon lineup, as you mentioned, since they've began conference play.
There's the 1-2. That one gets away off the protective netting, bounced off the glove of Jim Gotchian, and Sinicki's able to round third base as she moves up on the wild pitch.
Yeah, if you're Carrera here, you just got to settle in. You're just going to have to attack these Oregon hitters. You can't beat around the plate. They're too patient. They have good eyes. You're just going to have to let them make contact and let your defense try to go to work.
2-2, Flannery grounds it to shortstop, picked up by Loomis. Her only play is to first. She gets it there in time, but coming in through the back door, Paige Sinicki scores. It's an RBI ground out for Katie Flannery, and the Ducks double the lead here in the first. It's 2-0 Oregon.
And I think that's an example right there. Good challenge pitch on the off-speed. It gets Flannery to bite. And again, you let your defense go to work. Good play by Loomis. Run does score, but you get an out on the play. Now nobody on, 2 gone. Better that than walking Katie Flannery. Still 1 out. You'd have runners on the corners.
2 outs and 2 runs in for the Ducks brings up Kedri Luchard with the bases empty. Bunted and missed at the first pitch. It's 0-1.
The day she had on Saturday, huh?
Oh, yeah. The walk-off, base hit single. Ducks rallied from down 4-2 in the 7th. Won the game 1 of the doubleheader against Michigan 5-4. Floats it foul the other way. And 0-2. Carrera's gotten ahead of now 3 straight batters, 0-2. And the Oregon hitters have been able to battle back, but 2 previous hitters, McCoy and Flannery, those at-bats both ended in outs. Oh, 2 to Luchard. Swings, hits this one deep the other way, but it's going to stay in the yard. Jones is over with a little hop, makes the catch to retire the side. Through with a full inning of play, Ducks get on the board, score a pair of runs, and take a 2-0 lead. Into the top of the...
In the order here, Jim Gotchian for LMU.
Power hitting catcher Jim Gotchian takes a big swing and a foul. 0-1. Is it Jim Gotchian on the season, batting .327, 11 home runs. That's the team leader, as well as RBIs with 29.
Just came off a 5-for-8 weekend in 2 games against Oregon State. Had 3 home runs, 2 of them coming in the second game.
0-1 is high and tight. It was a 10-pitch first inning for Taylor Spencer. faces 4, 5, 6. It's Jim Gotchian. Chong is on deck, and Loomis in the hole for LMU. Here's the 1-1. That one way up and away. 2 balls and a strike.
Jim Gotchian's really one of the heartbeats of this team. She's been such a pivotal player the last 2 years, now 3 years, with 2025 now up and running. Had 15 home runs last year as well, 50 RBIs.
2-1, flipped foul, straight back, and count even.
And she's a workhorse. She starts nearly every game. She started every game last year, missed all but one in 2023.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
Even this year, she started all 36 games, now 37.
Spencer's pitch, swung, hit foul, hard the other way. And Gotchian staying alive. Bottom of the first inning for Oregon, they scored 2 runs on just 1 hit, and there was an error mixed in. On the player in the batter's box right now was on Jim Gotchian on that wide throw that allowed Kai Lushar to score the first Oregon run. The 2-2 again. Skips in. Full count.
Taylor Spencer respecting that power that Jim Gotchian has. Trying to get her to chase out of the zone. Now 3-2.
She looks at the band. Here's the payoff. Swung, hit hard the other way. Patman going back on it now. Comes in and bobbles the ball. It gets away from her. Kicks all the way to the wall. Jim Gotchian tearing past second. The throw comes in. She's going to get to third standing. I think the wind had a big factor to play in that one. The flags are blowing. It's a heavy crosswind from right to left. Patman, I think, kind of got confused. Started back, then came in and tried to make a basket catch, but could not. And an unfortunate bounce for Des Patman in right field allows Jim Gotchian to get all the way to third.
Yeah, I think that crosswind crossed Patman up. She actually started, her first step was in, then she went back 3 or 4 steps, and then had to come back in. Just all sorts of confusion. Not often you see that from any Oregon defender, let alone Desiana Patman in right field. But now a chance for LMU. Runner on third, nobody out to start off the top of the second.
Jim Gotchian gets credit with a triple. That's her second triple of the season. So a chance for LMU to score. First pitch to Chong is fouled away, and it's 0-1.
I think she got a friendly call to get a triple. I don't know. I feel like you could go. I was thinking air on Patman, but
I think it all depends on if the ball hits the ground first, because if no one touches it, it
right
doesn't really matter what the fielder does. But either way, LMU, the runner in scoring position with no one out. Chong hits this one to the right center field cap. Patman is giving chase, and she is not going to get it. It's going to one-hop up against the wall. Jim Gotchian scores easily from third, and LMU cuts the lead in half. Mika Chong with a no-out RBI double, and now it's 2-1 Oregon.
When for LMU, that's exactly what they needed to do. You take advantage of a mistake in right field, and boom, right there. RBI double. Playing down from behind, Taylor Spencer had a really good top of the first, but now you get the heart of the order up to the plate, and the Lions' first 2 to the plate have come through.
So after 10 pitches and 3 outs in the first inning for Spencer, she's thrown 10 in the second and has allowed back-to-back extra base hits, a triple and now a double, still with nobody out. First pitch to Loomis, she squares and bunts it back foul, 0-1. Amelia Loomis, the shortstop for LMU, a freshman batting .256 on the season, 13 runs driven in and no homers.
For Taylor Spencer, mentioned now her 10th start of the year, but even as a starter, she's not a pitcher that typically goes deep in the ball games. Only 3 times this year has she gone past the 5th inning.
Another bunt attempt. This one rolled back to third. Flannery charges, throws to first in time to Jones, the second baseman, covering. But Loomis gets the job done. Successful sacrifice moves over Mika Chong to third base now with 1 out.
She's going to certainly try and battle out of a jam here and try and keep this at least a 1-run lead, but LMU has other thoughts. Got a couple arms warming up in the Oregon pen as well. Looks like Lindsey Grind and Rowan Thompson.
Here's Kalani Castor, the runner on third and 1 out. A chance for LMU to tie it. She swings and checked her swing, and I think that one caught a piece of the bat. Foul ball. Ducks scored 2 in their first offensive opportunity in the bottom of the first. LMU has answered back with 1 and looking to try to tie or take the lead here in the top of the second. Infield in on the corners, Flannery and McCoy, as that one sails away from Spencer, and it is 2-0.
Castor, a very, very talented sophomore in her own right, originally from Dana Point, California, went to J. Sarah High School. A lot of talent across baseball and softball come out of J. Sarah High School.
So the count officially 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch from Spencer. Swinging this one drilled down the left field line, but way out in front. It's foul. 2-1. Chong on third base representing what would be the tying run for LMU. Here's the pitch. Spencer gets the called strike 3. The count was 1-2 rather. It was reading 2-0 before, but then they had changed it, so that one was a called strike 3. A big strikeout for Taylor Spencer, her second of the day.
Yeah, crucial. Now you get 2 outs. Can really attack Jones here, the batter. Oregon had a situation as they intentionally walked a Michigan batter, Matty Erickson, on the first game on Saturday. It came back to bite them this time. They stay away from that intentional walk. They go right after Castor and record the strikeout.
Christina Jones, a little lob wedge to Nikki going back, doesn't get it, just out of her reach. It falls into shallow left center field, and that's a base hit that ties the game at 2-2. First pitch swing and a first pitch RBI for Christina Jones.
I tell you, Paige Zanicki has had quite the busy weekend. She's ended up on the turf or dirt multiple times. Here's another one just out of the reach. It looked like she started her dive maybe a quarter of a second too late. Regardless, a really tough play to make. And LMU showing some fight early, tying the game back up at 2.
Chong comes in to score from third after the 2-out single by Jones. So Spencer's got to settle back in, delivers the first pitch to Emma Gutierrez, low for ball 1. And on that last play, we've seen Paige Zanicki make that type of play before. She's a Gold Glover for a reason. That was a really high degree of difficulty to try to catch that. Here's the 1-0. That one's a called strike.
Gutierrez has seen an increasingly larger role as the second half of the year has gone on. Wasn't a starter for the first half of the year, but now she's become a usual starter in the bottom third of the order for LMU.
This one drilled down the left field line. Luchar is back, and it is gone. 2-run home run, Emma Gutierrez, her second long ball of the season, and LMU has put up a 4 spot here in the top of the second off Taylor Spencer. Lions take the lead.
Right there, that's part of why she has earned her starting role. Even if it is in the bottom third of the order, shows off the power. Down the left field line, the 9th spot in the order, and Gutierrez says, doesn't matter if I'm batting 9th or if I'm batting 3rd, I'll still give you some pop. And a big inning. LMU taking it to Taylor Spencer.
All this scoring has come with 2 outs. Spencer got the called strike 3 of Kalani Castor. And then he thought maybe Spencer's got a chance to work out of this. Chong was on third base, and then 1 pitch later, Jones gets a bloop single that ties it up. And then Emma Gutierrez follows that up with a 2-run home run. Head coach for Oregon, Melissa Lombardi, went out to talk to her pitcher, but I think she's going to have her try to navigate through this herself. So 4 runs in for LMU. They've taken a 4-2 advantage over Oregon in the top of the second as the lineup flips over for Justine Lambert.
Taylor Spencer hasn't given up many home runs this year, just her 4th she's allowed, and and now 33 innings.
And then Lambert hits that one off the glove of Spencer. She cannot come up with it. No play. And that'll be another hit. How about LMU getting aggressive? A lot of first pitch swings in early counts, and it's been producing some fruitful results.
And Spencer struggling right now, especially after that home run. And then the next at bat, she gets a comebacker. It just seems like when you're struggling, the ball will have eyes for you and somehow find you in the diamond. And a play there that Spencer can't come up and make. And it's just so hard, especially when you give up home runs and then you have a play like that you're not able to make the third out. It's hard for you to really regather yourself, calm your nerves, and refocus. Head coach Melissa Lombardi is going to, believe, come out again here.
Yeah, the Ducks had a couple of arms warming up. She's over chatting with the home plate umpire, Trina Comerford. I think she's going to go out to the circle. There's going to be a pitching change coming in for the Ducks. Lindsey Grind is going to take the circle. Spencer departs after an inning and 2/3
games.
0-1, swing and a miss. Hadaki late on the high cheese. Nothing in 2.
Those 2 runs were the first couple runs that she had given up in her previous 4 appearances before that. She had been lights out, currently 6th in the entire country in ERA with that 1.06.
Going to put an end to this inning for LMU. The 0-2 popped up, mile high on the infield. Rosa looking for it, but it's straight back and out of play. And they've made a scoring change on that last hit. Justine Lambert hit a comebacker to the circle. Taylor Spencer couldn't handle it. They've ruled that an error against Spencer, so E1 keeps this inning going. 4-2, LMU in the lead. They started this inning down 2-0. Grinds 0-2. Got her. Off speed, pulled the string. Inning opens order. Maake, Desiana Patman, and Bracy Rosa. Stephanie Maake, for her first at-bat of the game, takes the first pitch, a slow one, a little bit outside, 1-0.
Got to be nice for Carrera, too, coming into this inning, pitching with a lead. Perhaps not something she expected to have coming into this game, but here we are.
The 1-0, Maake patiently watches another one sail away. 2 balls, no strikes. I mentioned Riley McCoy has a chance to tie the most home runs by a freshman in a season. Well, Maake has a chance to do just the same. Both Riley McCoy and Stephanie Maake, the 2 teammates, entering today with 13 home runs apiece, tied for the team lead. The 2-0, Maake, an aggressive swing, but a little late on it. Foul ball.
You got to think if Maake and McCoy stay healthy the rest of the regular season, that they might surpass that 15 number or the 14 number to tie the record, 15 to beat the record. They're going to continue on to battle it out amongst themselves to see who's going to hold that potentially new record here at the softball program in Oregon.
Carrera's 2-1. Maake takes high. 3 balls and a strike. That's something Stephanie Maake, I think, has gotten a lot better at. She got off to just that amazing hot start in non-conference play. It was just hitting home runs left and right. But then as Oregon started to face, say, tougher teams, she cooled down a bit. 3-1 is hit hard on the ground to second. Harville has it, flips it over to first to retire Maake for the first out of the inning.
It seemed like, too, she had a handful of bad luck, bad breaks, a lot of check swings that she hit the tip of her bat and it would flare in fair territory and she would get thrown out on. Kind of just weird, quirky plays like that went against her for a while, but now she's really put some good swings on. A lot like Desiana Patman here.
There's Des Patman, Oregon's right fielder, takes a strike on the outer edge. Remember that 4-run offensive outburst for LMU in the top of the second inning. All started when Izzy Jamgachian got what was called a triple, a ball that hit the other way to right field. The wind knocked it down, and Patman wasn't able to field it. She shows bunt and knocks it down foul, quickly 0-2.
Got to think she wants to make up for that with the bat in her hands here. Try and get on base and get a rally going here early in the bottom of the second.
Bases empty, 1 out. Desiana Patman behind Angela Carrera, 0-2. Here's the wind. That one outside. A ball and 2 strikes.
Carrera really mixing up her pitch as well. That time coming with the high velocity. Maybe set up something off speed here, get Patman and Chase on 1 and 2.
The lefty for LMU fires. Patman hits that one to third. Gutierrez has it, slings it across the diamond in time. And 2 up, 2 down, both on the ground. The base is empty with 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
So instead of the off speed, she raises the eye level with high velocity and still, even up in the zone, gets Patman to roll over to third base. A bonus for Carrera.
Brings up Bracy Rosa, catcher for Oregon. Hit a monster home run in Game 2 on Saturday of the doubleheader against Michigan. First pitch, Rosa takes low and away. Rosa has been incredible since filling in for the injured catcher for Oregon, Emma Cox. 6 home runs, 21 runs driven in, and it seems like a lot of them are just in clutch situations.
Well, you mentioned the Florida State games, and she was the clutch hitter in those 2 games against Seminoles. But even ever since, a couple walk-off hits this year, to her credit.
2-0, way outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And I think a lot of this performance for Bracy Rosa, a lot of it, I think, just has to do with her playing consistently. Didn't play a whole lot her freshman year. Was in the backup spot behind Emma Cow for Oregon a season ago. 3-0 is a called strike. But then was this season playing a little bit more, but kind of sporadically, pinch hit opportunities and getting in late game situations. But when you're getting 3 or 4 consistent at-bats game after game, you really start to dial it in at the dish. 3-1, she hits that one, a slow one. That's going to trickle into center field. Just the second hit of the day for Oregon, a 2-out slap single by Bracy Rosa.
Yeah, not hit hard, but put it in a good spot up the middle. Can't allow the middle infielders to get to it. And to finish up on Rosa, I think, you know, it's an unfortunate truth, but it's true across all sports. When someone injured ahead of you in the depth chart goes down and you get an opportunity to come play and be a starter, you have to fulfill that opportunity. Bracy Rosa has certainly done that.
Jones, a little check swing down the left field line. A diving catch made. What a play out in left. Christina Jones. Two to Harville. Swinging this one floated right at shortstop. Paige Shinicki makes the catch.
What's your favorite stadium game? You've gone to many baseball and softball games throughout your early life, young life. Got the hat shuffle.
Probably
you got
the hat shuffle.
Morning track races. They've got.
I would
digital
honestly
board
say the
races.
hat shuffle. It's just a classic. Like it's everywhere you go. It's universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 1 down. Here's Jim Gotchin, a late swing and a miss. How about you, Jonah? What was your favorite?
That's a good one. And if it's not a hat shuffle, it's like a grocery bag shuffle
Yes,
or
some type
sort
of shuffle.
Christmas time.
And
it's a stocking.
and it's the best when everyone gets something. It's a,
right.
You know. 0-1 upstairs.
I don't mind some trivia too.
Oh yeah,
I like trivia.
You're the one person selected for it. Yeah, it's a fun time.
I gotta figure out how to be selected.
I know, right?
I don't know how that works.
Just gotta be in the right place at the right time. Grinds 1-1 is at the shins of Jim Gotchin. Checked her swing, but held back. 2-1.
You know, we mentioned Lindsey Grind, that 1.02 ERA. It's been so lights out, and she's done it too as a starter, but also she's come into these relief roles so many times this year where starters find trouble for Oregon. She comes in to clean up, get some shutdown innings, and let the Duck offense go to work and bring them back in the game.
I've seen just kind of her body language and her mentality throughout the season. She even said in post-game interviews, it doesn't matter what situation I'm in, I'm going to pitch just the same, and it's been really good. The 2-2, Jim Gotchian gets a piece and fouls it away. Grind ended the second inning on a strikeout of Ariana Haraki. Looks at the left wrist. 2-2 offering. Another foul ball. Jimgachian putting together another long battle.
She's such a tough batter to sit down. 24 walks as well on the year, leads the team. And a lot of those, credit her, patient at the plate, but also just the respect that she has from opposing pitchers, trying to not leave something over the heart of the plate, trying to work around the dish, make her reach for something out of the zone.
What does Grind go to after Jimgachian fouled off the previous 2 pitches? 2-2. Swing and a foul tip held on by Rosa. Grind comes out on top of that battle and strikes out Jimgachian for the second out here in the top of the 3rd.
Right there, high velocity up in the zone. It's set up by a couple off-speed pitches down low in the zone. Previously, raises the eye level. Jimgachian's eyes opened up wide, thinking she can elevate, but just too late on the swing.
Well, here's Mika Chong, who is 1 for 1 today, doubled and drove in a run back in the 2nd inning. That was against Taylor Spencer. This is now against Lindsey Grind as the first pitch is in for a strike. Chong hit that one hard. Opposite field, too, to right center field. Patman and Luchar both converged on it, but neither of which were really close to getting to that ball. The 0-1. Swinging this one, chopped over to 3rd, but Flannery fields it in foul ground.
Chong's got a really interesting load up and first step when she comes through. That front leg, that left leg, her foot really, it starts kind of open stance, but then when she takes that step to come through, her left foot really kind of takes a direction towards third base, and she really opens up.
0-2 is a call. Stairs to Luchar, 1-0. And through 2 full innings, Carrera been pretty solid. Kind of had a slow start in the first, and Kai Luchar takes another ball. It's 2-0.
Saw in her first at bat, reached on a walk and got that program tying 41st stolen base on the year.
To 2-0, that one a little bit inside. 3-0. Not a hitter you want to walk if you're Carrera and LMU. Already gave a free pass to Kai Luchar in the first. Behind 3-0, here's the pitch. Luchar pulls back the bunt. It's high. 2 at-bats, 2 walks for Kai Luchar.
Better keep an eye on first base now in this next at-bat. Throughout this inning with Kai Luchar on base. Could see some history yet again. Paige Snicki now coming to the plate as well.
She tied the single-season stolen base record in the first inning, did Kai Luchar. A chance to break it right here with Paige Snicki up to bat. First pitch to Snicki. Luchar thought about running, and Snicki took a strike on the lower outer edge, 0-1. Saw Luchar do that in the first inning, kind of danced off first, and then about a fourth of the way down the line before heading back to first. See if she's off and running here. The 0-1 to Snicki. She swings and flies this one deep out towards right center field. Castor makes the catch in front of Lambert, the center fielder. They almost collided with each other. A high fly ball that I carried a little bit further than LMU thought, but Castor, a good catch, retires Snicki for out number 1.
Narrowly avoided disaster in center field. Castor makes a catch. Look at Lambert, kind of dives, and luckily she was a step behind Castor and didn't dive into her. Could have been a really dangerous play. Big out number 1.
Here's Riley McCoy. First pitch, Luchar running, the throw down by Jimgachian. Luchar is safe, and the record has been broken. 42 steals in the season now for Kai Luchar. She passes Susie Barnes' mark set in 2007. Congratulations to Kai Luchar. What an achievement.
Wasn't a question of if, it was a matter of when, and there it is, Kai Luchar.
McCoy drills one to center field. Going back is Lambert at the wall. Makes the catch in front of the fence. Luchar tags up from third, and then is just going to keep on running all the way home and scores. That's something you don't see every day. A sacrifice fly scores a runner from second base. Kai Luchar took off from second and didn't stop. Rounded third and came around to score, sliding into home. It's now 4-3.
I mean, her speed just seems unmatched. I mean, granted, it was a deep fly ball, as deep as it could be to the wall, but still, Lambert made the catch, made a quick throw in, and Luchard never hesitated. She just rounded third, kept going, and it was the correct decision to do so.
So the base is empty with 2 outs for a run, and Katie Flannery takes the first pitch outside. And as we got a look on that last play, Lambert went colliding into the wall in left center field, fell to her knees, and really couldn't get enough mustard on that throw. And Luchard, with the great speed, took advantage and scored. So now it's 4-3. Pitch to Flannery. That one's a called strike.
Aiden, you briefly mentioned the wind earlier. I got to think that wind was the only thing that kept that ball in the ballpark. That was launched high in the air by McCoy. I think on a typical day, that's out of the park.
That one is in the lower part of the zone. Another called strike. Crowd's starting to make some noise. Ducks have cut the lead in half. 1-2 to Flannery. Swing and a miss. Jim Gotchian holds on for out number 3. Loomis is 0 for 0 today. Dropped down a sacrifice bunt. She swings at the first pitch. One hopper to Sinicki. Strong throw over to first. Right on the money to Riley McCoy. 1 pitch and 1 out for Lindsey Grine here in the top of the 4th.
Plays like that is why Paige Sinicki is a Gold Glover. May not look all that challenging, but it's hit on the line. It's kind of a short hop, and she's able to stay down on it. Gloves it. Perfect throw across the diamond for the out.
Brings up Kalani Castor. Struck out looking against Taylor Spencer back in the 2nd. That would be the final out that Spencer recorded on her outing. That one is tight for ball 1. So the final line for Taylor Spencer went an inning and 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. 2-0 down. Castor struck out 2 and faced 10 batters. Didn't walk any. Just good swings, just good contact by LMU. It's built them a 4-3 lead. Grinds 2-0. Castor takes high and away. 3 balls and no strikes.
And Grine has done her job nearly perfectly ever since coming into relief. Hitless softball, 3 strikeouts already, no walks. Trying to avoid one here, though, down 3-0 to Castor.
See if she has the green light. 3-0 pitch. She is taking all the way and taking a strike.
I wonder what the batter's eye is like with the Bob out there in center field. A lot of the kids holding up yellow Oregon signs.
Here's the 3-1. Castor swings, drills it out to left. Luchard getting twisted around. It is gone again. Another home run to that same spot. This time a solo shot off the bat of Kalani Castor. Really rare. See one hit off Grine this season. Pitch to Jones is down by the shoe tops. It's ball 1. Lindsey Grine's had a little bit of trouble with the long ball. Started the game on Friday against Michigan this past weekend. Gave up 2 solo shots, but that was pretty much her only mistake of the game. The 1-0. Jones swings and hits that one to Flannery. Cuts it off at third base, throws it across in time for the 2nd out of the 4th inning.
Looks like Elise Sikolsky warming up for Oregon down in their pen. She also came into relief against Michigan on Saturday when the Ducks were down. Came into relief, pitched shutout softball. Rowan Thompson as well up and loosening for Oregon.
That home run by Castor broke up a string of 5 straight retired by Lindsey Grine. There's Gutierrez. She takes a strike, 0-1. Gutierrez was the first Lion to homer. A 2-run shot off Taylor Spencer in the 2nd inning gave LMU a 4-2 edge. Ducks got 1 back in the 3rd, but LMU adds back on in the 4th. That one way high, 1-1. Gutierrez back into the box. Grine ready to throw her 30th pitch. And here it is, the 1-1. That one is a called strike. Good placement at the bottom part of the zone.
Really good break. Starts at the really like the hamstrings and just breaks in late. Backdoor breaking ball. Now you're up 1-2 in the count.
Grinds 1-2. Flared foul off the top of the protective netting. And the count remains the same.
Good challenge pitch there, even on 1-2. Have a couple waste pitches to work with, but wanted the strikeout right there. High velocity, middle, challenging Gutierrez.
One-two fire. Skips in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the LMU 9-hitter. It's really been the middle and the bottom part of LMU's order that's done the most damage. 1, 2, 3 in the Lions' order are combined 0 for 6. Excuse me, 0 for 6.
Dylan Jones, obviously Kai Lushar, Kedry Lushar, who's at the plate right now. All double-digit stolen bases this year. It's a collective effort. It's a universal, really, mindset of being aggressive on the base paths.
Kedry Lushar takes down and away, 1-1. It's Kedry Lushar, Stephanie Maake, and Desiana Patman, 5, 6, 7, due up for the Ducks. Here in the bottom of the 4th, with some work to do, they led 2-0 after an inning of play, but since then, they've been trailing ever since. Lushar hits that one hard, deflects off the glove of the pitcher. The throw on at first, in time for the out. Just gets the speedy Kedry Lushar by a step. Carrera knocked it down, and then a nifty play by the shortstop Loomis to gunner out at first base.
It was actually Lindsay Odell, it's a new pitcher for LMU. Carrera out of the game, but really aggressive by Kedry Lushar, just beat by a half step at first base. And now Odell into the game. This is one of the more experienced pitchers for the Lions here in 2025.
So Lindsay Odell, the new player in the circle for LMU, fires to Maake outside. That last put it of Lushar goes down as 1-6-3 in the book for you of those of you scoring at home. But for Lindsay Odell, like you mentioned, Jonah, a lot more innings as coming in this game, exactly 100 innings. 5.88 ERA, making her 31st appearance of the season.
The walks have been her kryptonite. 65 walks to her 52 strikeouts. Not often you see that strikeout to walk ratio in favor of the walks. Trying to clean that up here in the second half of the season.
Pitch to Maake is high, 2-0. That's a really fascinating statistic. 65 base on balls to just 52 strikeouts. If the Ducks can take advantage, 2-0, Maake takes downstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. So Angela Carrera goes 3 full innings.
I'd say she certainly did her job, limiting the Oregon offensive production. Now
Maake taking all the way and takes ball 4.
Now you get to one of your more experienced pitchers, a junior in her own right as well, but that right there is the one problem, allowing walks to an Oregon team that more times than not, it's going to take advantage of those free bags.
So Oregon's going to bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Desiana Patman, and they send out a pinch runner. Elise Crescio is in to run at first base for Maake. Patman 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third base in the second inning, but facing a new pitcher in Lindsay Odell for the first time this afternoon.
Odell this year, too, by far the most she's ever pitched in a single season. Her third year with LMU, only went 58 2/3 last year. Tremendously surmounting that marker here this year already.
1-0 to Patman. She takes in. No, that one's called a strike, just on the inner part of the plate. 1-1. But the final line closes for the LMU starter, Angela Carrera. She went 3 full innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, walked 2, and struck out 1. And you're right, Joan. I think she did more than her job. Kept her team in the ball game, and her team has the lead.
had a feeling too that she's only appeared in 3 games. Carrera hasn't gone more than 2 innings of work or into the third inning of work.
2-1 to Patman. Swings, hits it to shortstop, fielded, throw to first. They get the force out, but that's all LMU will get. Loomis turned to Harville to cut down the lead runner in Crescio. So her and Patman trade places now with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 4th.
So you figure that maybe the game plan perhaps for Coach Flowers and LMU was to have Carrera go 2 or 3 innings. She ends up going 3, and I think if you were told that you had only given up 3 runs going into the 4th inning against Oregon, I think, obviously you want less, but I think you would have taken that.
Here's Bracy Rosa. Takes the ball. Rosa has 1 of the 2 Oregon hits today. She singled back in the 2nd inning with 2 outs, but was left right there as the Ducks did not score in the 2nd frame. She dribbles that one towards third, but it's left to the line. Foul, 1-1.
Man, this is an Oregon team that's 5th in the nation in runs scored as a team this year. And LMU's came in here with a strategy to try and limit that production.
The 1-1, Rosa watches that one float high. 2 balls and a strike in favor of the batter. Des Patman, the runner on first base, not the biggest threat in the world to steal. Has done a little bit of it this season. 6 stolen bases in 9 attempts. The Ducks as a team have only gotten thrown out 13 times. This one back to the circle, fielded by Odell. Easy throw onto first, and the inning is over. Ducks get around. Lambert 0 for 2 today. She struck out swinging in the first and then reached on an error in the second. Her first look at Lindsey Grine in the circle. The first pitch is flipped foul off the mask of Bracy Rosa, and it's 0-1. And Lindsey Grine, I think, having an equipment problem. Her shoe just split in half. Yeah, take a look at that. The sole of her shoe just split into 2. And this is interesting. Is she going to be able to get another one? Get her a new pair? Take another look. Here's the delivery, and then just kind of landed semi-awkwardly, and then the sole just breaks on that.
Yeah. Like the right cleat, the spike, dug into the dirt and just ripped apart the sole.
Remember, I think that was happened to Zion Williamson in his days at Duke, right? 2019.
How did I know you were going to mention that? I knew you were going to come up with that.
I think, was it Mike Miller in the NBA Finals, too? He had a 3-pointer, 1 shoe. Famous footwear malfunctions, but
I don't know if I've seen that. I can recall an instance seeing a pitcher. That happened to a pitcher mid-game. There she goes. Looks like Lindsey got a new pair.
Goes from
cleat.
green cleats to yellow cleats now. But she's all good.
I think it still fits.
Yeah.
The yellow socks.
And she gets a couple of warm-up tosses for that. A little bit of a break, but Justine Lambert ready to step back in. Down in the count 0-1 after the foul ball. Let's see how Grine works with the new cleats. The 0-1. Little tapper that gets caught by Flannery. Nice play. Just a basket catch, picking that one right off the dirt before it hit it. Out number 1.
Favored her too. She was already playing shallow, expecting perhaps a bunt from Lambert. Ends up getting almost like a swinging bunt, able to make the catch.
There's Ariana Hadaki, 0 for 2 today. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it hard to Flannery, picks it and throws on to first. A nice couple of plays down there at third base by Katie Flannery. That's why they call it the hot corner. She was ready and made a good play.
Yeah, Flannery just so good. Tale of 2 different types of plays. One really soft floater, make a basket catch, and then next at bat, gets a rope down the third base line and able to snag it, make the throw.
Our 2 outs on 3 pitches. First one to Harville sails inside 1-0.
When you talk about that left side of the infield, Paige Snicki, Gold Glover, Katie Flannery has the traits of a Gold Glove third baseman as well.
1-0 flip foul. Got 2 really good defenders on the left side of the Ducks infield, Paige Snicki and Katie Flannery. Just a really good defensive unit overall for Oregon. A .980 fielding percentage as a team. Grinds 1-1. Swinging a chopper. This one should be a lot easier. Snicki has it on the high hop, throws over to first, and the
We highlighted the issues Odell has had with the walks this year. Saw one already issued to Stephanie Maake. I would imagine here perhaps very patient hitting from the Ducks lineup.
And that one was...
Not sure what the call was here.
Was going to be outside. That one should have been a ball nonetheless, but the umpire made a signal, is now talking it over.
Well, Trina Comerford, the home plate umpire, right before that pitch was delivered, she stuck out her left hand, similar to what she did after the pitch, too. I don't know if it was a
take another look.
Violation. You see her hand was put down right before the pitch was delivered. She had it stuck out just like that.
Pitch was actually pretty close to grabbing the outside corner.
I think it was a violation against pitch clock violation.
So technically that pitch never happened. It's just an automatic ball as Jones flares it foul, now 1-2. Trying to get on base and turn the lineup over for Oregon. They've scored 3 runs, but really haven't had their best day hitting. Just 2 hits up to this point. Jones watches that one skip in the dirt, 2-2.
Really, they've taken advantage of walks and error made by LMU as well to capitalize on those runs.
And 3 walks in the game by LMU. The 2-2, Jones way out in front, strikes out swinging. A nasty off-speed by Lindsay Odell, her first strikeout of the afternoon for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And again, we know throughout the year what Oregon is able to do offensively. Mentioned again, 8th in the nation in total runs scored, but you look at the series, the 3-game series against Michigan this past weekend.
Shar slaps it foul down the third baseline.
You take away the run rule victory, a 9-1 win there. You know, on Friday night, we were limited to 3 runs, and then for most of game 2, we were down 4-2 going into the 7th inning, able to rally and get a 5-4 walk-off victory. But overall, I think including this game, their offensive bats have been kept on a quieter side compared to what they have been the previous 2 weekends.
Yeah, I think you can give a lot of credit to Michigan's pitching staff. Wolverines are
Absolutely
a good team, and they held the Ducks in check until just kind of the key moments. And until that final game, Oregon's offense finally came alive. 0-2 skips into Luchar. Kai today doesn't have an official at-bat. 2 plate appearances, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored. 2 stolen bases as well to tie the single-season record and then break it. 42 stolen bases now for Kai Luchar. 1-2 outside. Oregon still looking for an extra base hit as well. A single by Snicki in the first and then a single by Rosa in the second. The 2-2, Luchar tops that one to third. The throw on to first just in time. Good play by Gutierrez. Throws out Luchar by a step.
That almost seems like a rarity this year with how fast Kai Luchar gets down the first base line, has so many infield singles. Gutierrez, give her credit, quick on the transfer over, beats Luchar by a step at first base.
So here's Paige Snicki with 2 outs and the bases empty. Ducks looking for a spark on offense. First pitch, Paige takes a strike. It's 4 straight batters retired by Lindsay Odell. The 0-1. Snicki takes low and away.
Paige involved in multiple collisions at second base on Saturday against Michigan. She was hit by a pitch as well. A fastball right in the shoulder. She just went through it.
The 1-2 flared into right field. Castor calling, covering the gap, and catching, and the Ducks.
Big hits, timely.
So Lindsey Grind still in the circle for the Ducks. Took over for Taylor Spencer, who started this game in the second inning, looking to try to keep the score right where it is. Ducks down by 2 runs. The 1-0. And off speed finds the zone. Good pitch by Grind.
Yeah, really good pitch. Jim Gotchian started coming forward. Couldn't keep that weight back on the off speed, keeping her off balance.
The 1-1 pitch. A check swing, appeal down the first. She went. Now the count is 1-2. Jim Gotchian 1 for 2 today. Tripled against Taylor Spencer in the second and scored a run, and struck out swinging against Lindsey Grind in the third inning. Here's the 1-2. This one drilled out to left field, but Kai Lushar there makes the catch as that ball was hit on a line, but a nice play by Oregon's left fielder to put it away for the first out.
Just slightly off the end of the bat, perhaps inches away from really getting it barreled up and potentially a third home run. But a big out, number 1. Most powerful hitter in the order retired. 1 gone, nobody on.
So now here's Chong. 1 for 2. Lets loose on the first one and flares it the other way. Mika Chong doubled and scored in the second inning. Drove in a run on that double. 0-1 from Grind. That one fouled away again over the Oregon dugout, and it's a souvenir for one of the kids in attendance. Probably a pretty cool thing to tell your mom and your dad. They ask you, hey, what happened at school today? Well, first off, we didn't go to school.
Well, I would hope the parents are informed that they're not going to be at school.
And I came home with a souvenir softball.
Yeah. Although I think there is an agreement that all foul balls are returned to an usher, I believe. Normally they announce that. Maybe not today, though, with the kids in attendance.
Yeah, maybe
let them
an exception today.
I think that would be a fair exception.
The Grind ahead of Chong, 0-2. Here's the pitch. That one downstairs, and that's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count now.
Well, I mentioned this in Chong's last at-bat, but again, that left foot, she comes through. She really opens up her stance. You would think that perhaps Lindsey Grind would attack the outer half of the plate to counteract that move by Chong.
1-2, just gets a piece. Had the timing of Chong all out of sorts, but she's just able to spoil it foul and stay alive. Lions 5, Ducks 3. Getting late here in Eugene. Into the 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up the other way. Calling for it, the second baseman Jones in foul ground makes the catch for the second out here in the 6th.
Yeah, you take away that one swing of the bat by Castor, and Lindsey Grind has really pitched well. 4th inning of work. Just that one hit was the home run, but 4 strikeouts. She's looked really good, sharp.
Here's Analia Loomis swinging and missing at that one for strike 1.
Just feels like you're waiting for that Oregon lineup to come to life. It's a very similar situation they were in on Saturday against Michigan.
Grind's 0-1 pitch. That one a little bit low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Due up for Oregon when this inning concludes. Bottom of the 6th. The big hitters for Oregon, 3, 4, and 5. Riley McCoy, Katie Flannery, and Kedri Lushar. Trying to get one more out to keep this score where it is. The 1-1. A swing and a little lofted ball out to left center field. Kedri Lushar there, catches it and gives it to one of the kids to end the inning. 1-2.
Type of impact, 2 of them at that. And they're not the only 2. You talk about, we've mentioned it a few times this year, Kaylin Jones as well, Emma Cox before she went down to injury.
1-1 now to McCoy.
It's a good mix of young, but also mixed with that veteran, Kai Lushar, Paige Snicky, who have been in this program for multiple years.
It's kind of crazy to think that Riley McCoy wasn't even in the starting lineup to begin the game. She rockets a single back into left center field. Good start for the Ducks, a leadoff hit to begin the 6th.
Good piece of hitting. And for a power hitter like McCoy is, to be in a situation you're down 2, not just think about swinging for the fences. Just get on base, put something on the ground, hit hard right here. See, it just stays right on top of that ball, drives through it.
Be a pinch hitter for her, that is Reagan Legg, who's done a lot of pinch running for Oregon this season. See if she tries to turn the wheels in motion. Ducks have not been caught stealing yet against LMU. Here's Katie Flannery. Swings and fouls away the first pitch, 0-1. Flannery today 0 for 2. Grounded out to shortstop in the first and then struck out swinging in the third. Getting her 3rd crack at it now. Here's the pitch. A slight check of the swing, but didn't go around, and it's 1-1.
Katie Flannery had a red-hot beginning of March, and then the latter half of March into April, she's gone a little bit quiet.
Odell's 1-1. Legg was running, and Flannery out in front of it. Fouls it down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ketri Lushar would be next. Ducks being out hit and outscored by LMU, both 5-3.
Flannery just 2 hits across her last 7 games at the plate.
1-2. Flannery just gets a piece. Legg was off and running again, but will have to go back on the foul ball.
Check that, 8 games. 2 hits across her last 8 games for Flannery. It's cooled off a bit second half of March and here in April, but really changed that right here. 1 swing at the bat.
1-2 again. Off speed drifts way high. Back pick down to first. Legg gets back in safely with a head first stop. Count evens up now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Flannery seeing a lot of pitches from Odell. He's fouled off a good bit of them. Pitch comes in, the 2-2, swinging another rope down the line, foul.
Sam Martyr getting a couple rounds of applause from her dugout. It will move out of the way, a hard hit ball down the third base line.
We saw one of the coaches this weekend of Michigan get flunked with one at third base.
Bonnie Thole, head coach. And she wore it like a champ. Didn't even phase her. She laughed it off.
Probably not the first time she's gotten hit by one of those. Flannery battling. Odell's 2-2. A swing and a miss. Another back pick down to first. Legg is safe, but that's out number 1. Odell wins the long battle, strikes out Flannery. She goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, every season has its ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of a year, and Flannery was really hot in the beginning of March, all sorts of power, and then she's come down now in a bit of a slump.
Kedri Lushar tops one out to second. Going to be a tough play. They get it over to first just in time. It was Harville throwing to Hodeke for the out. Legg
play as of late represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 6th.
And we're going to have a meeting in the circle. There is a pitcher warming up in the pen for LMU, Jessica Hubbard, that is. There's 2 separate meetings going on right now. One is just coach to starting pitcher Lindsay Odell, and then it's the rest of the LMU infield gathered together with one of the assistants. Odell's going to stay in there to face Maake.
This just shows you how important this situation is here. LMU trying to hold on to a 2-run lead. 2 outs in the inning, but you got the tying run at the plate. And arguably one of the hottest hitters in the lineup right now over the last couple weeks, and Stephanie Maake coming to the plate.
Maake 0 for 1. She grounded out to second in the second inning and then walked on 4 pitches against Odell in the fourth. First pitch, Maake drills it down the line, but foul out in front of it. Ducks have squared a couple up today, but just haven't been able to straighten it out.
Message sent on strike 1. Maake is ready to go. Barrels one up, just a little bit out in front.
Going to be interesting to see how careful Odell is with Maake, knowing how much power she possesses, but the Lions have first base open. The 0-1, Maake off the end of the bat. It's foul.
Look how deep the outfield's playing. They are quite literally on the warning track. That's how deep they're playing against Stephanie Maake right here.
And it's playing essentially no doubles defense. And you're right, Jonah, the center fielder, Lambert, is on the warning track, the edge of it. The 0-2, Maake takes high and away. Ducks have been kept in check for the majority of this game. Scored 2 runs in the first inning, but it's been tough sledding ever since. They trail 5-3 against LMU. The 1-2 to Maake takes outside. Jim Gotchin snags it from preventing it from going to the backstop. It's now 2-2.
It's a great job by Maake. Creating a situation now, back in the count 2-2. Creating a situation where you're going to force Odell to have to come back over the plate here, give you something to hit.
2-2 pitch. Maake out to center field. That one lined and caught by Lambert. The defensive alignment works out perfectly. That one hung up in the air a little bit too long as Maake lines out to center field to end the inning. Another 0 put up by the rain starting to factor in on that. 2-0.
Yeah, it's a hard sideways wind coming down right now. Yeah, Miss Alyssa Lombardi doesn't like it. She's going to come out. Might talk this over here.
I mean, it just, the skies have just opened all of a sudden in between.
It's really coming down hard out of nowhere.
In between innings here.
See a lot of the fans and the kids that were in attendance today ducking for cover.
And the umpires, I think, are going to have to meet with one another. Also, meeting with the groundskeeper for Oregon softball.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And now the head groundskeeper's talking it over with Coach Lombardi, and they're going to send the players off the field. We've got a delay for rain. It just picked up. I had to go use the bathroom real quick, and I came back, and the players were out on the field. I'm like, I got to get back here. I just made it just in time. Here's a 3-0. That one's in there for a strike, 3-1.
One of the fastest delays ever. Is that 2 minutes? Maybe 3?
Yeah, that was a quick one. Here's a 3-1. Swinging a foul from 3-0 now to 3-2. Good job by Grind to battle back. Kalani Castor has hit one of the 2 home runs for LMU today. It was the most recent one, a solo shot in the fourth. Gave the Lions a 5-3 lead, and that's currently where we still stand. The payoff. That one is upstairs, ball 4. A long at bat by Castor. She works a walk to lead off the 7th.
Such a weird position to be in. If you're Lindsey Grind, come back in a count. You're already midway through the at bat. Got to come back in and kind of refocus yourself. I think this is the at bat now against Jones. Fresh slate. Can really settle back into your groove that you were in.
Christina Jones squares to bunt and pulled back. Pitch was way high for a ball. Just 1-0. Jones made a great play defensively out in left field. Made a diving catch to Rob Kedry-Luchar back in Kaylin Jones back in the second inning. The 1-0 from Grind. A bunt, drop down. Who's going to pick it up? It's Flannery. Her throw on to first in time for the out. For the second time, the Lions have completed a successful sacrifice bunt, and that moves Kalani Castor into scoring position up to second base, now with one down.
Really well executed by Jones there, but a great play by Katie Flannery coming in from third base, making the quick transfer throw over to get the out.
Brings up the 9-hitter for LMU. Emma Gutierrez hit a 2-run shot. That's been really the biggest swing of the game for either side. A 2-run shot back in the second inning. First pitch to the AB from Grind. That grabs the outside corner. Called strike. So she hit the home run in the second. That was off Taylor Spencer, and then struck out swinging against Lindsey Grind here in the fourth. We're in the top of the seventh now. The 0-1 way away.
The bottom three of the order, 3 for 8 so far today. I mentioned a couple home runs so far. One from Castor, one from Gutierrez. You look at the top three, 0 for 9 collectively.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit the other way. Coming on and making the catch is Ayana Shaw. He's in there as a defensive replacement for Desiana Patman. It's always the case when you get subbed in, the ball will find you, and it does find Shaw, but she's able to make the catch for the second out.
You might get a pinch hitter here for Lambert.
So after the leadoff walk, Grind is retired. Last two batters she's faced as the order flips over.
I believe it's Jasmine Sephora, the pinch hit for Lambert.
You would be correct, Jonah.
Thank you.
Jasmine Sofora, who wears number 11, is going to dig into the right-handed batter's box against Grind.
Hasn't appeared in the game at the plate since back at Texas A&M on March 29th.
First pitch to the pinch hitter, swing and a miss. Too much heat out of the hand from Lindsey Grind. In the game LMU defeated Oregon in 2024, it was a 4-0 win for the Lions. Jasmine Sofawara hit a big home run that put LMU up 4-0 in that one. That was pretty much the dagger. Batting .433 this year, 3 home runs and 12 RBIs is Sofawara. The 1-1, swing and a miss again. Grind's fooled her 2 times and now jumps ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
At a point in the year, she was on a 5-game hitting streak.
Grind trying to end the inning. The 1-2 on the way. Just gets a piece.
Has 30 at-bats this year, does so for Aurora. Has only struck out twice. Really knows how to battle at the plate.
Grind set. And the 1-2. This one hit down the left field line, but just foul. It was above the head of Katie Flannery at third, and the Ducks could do nothing but watch it drop harmlessly foul. The count remains 1-2. The conditions on the field much different than the start of this game for sure. A little bit colder, a little bit windier. Had about a 2 to 3 minute rain delay to begin this inning.
Still slightly coming down.
1-2 again. This one chopped to shortstop. Sinicki charging it, boots it, and it gets away. And then Jones bobbles it. Now here comes the runner coming home. Rosa applies the tag. She is out at the plate. Not the most orthodox way. So we're going to take a look at this play. Coming home, Rosa had the ball. She never lost the ball out of her glove. So really the only thing that is going to depend is if she
Better
applied
angle
the tag
here.
before Castor got her hand in, and I don't know. I had out on the field just watching that live, but in the replay, I think I got out as well.
Well, the official call was out on the field, so now you got to have enough evidence to make you overturn the call.
And in the past series here at the chain, we saw a lot of reviews get upheld. Upheld means that there wasn't enough evidence to change the call. It just kind of meant the call stood as it was originally. Like you said, Jonah, the original call was out. And this is a big one. This is either a run for LMU or it's the inning over and the Ducks are going to be up to bat. Big call in this game. Here we get one more look. The throw from Jones comes into Rosa. It skips in. A really good job by Rosa to corral it, and they stick with the call. Runner is out. Inning is over. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. LMU leads number 6 Oregon 5-3. The Ducks down to their final.
The dirt's a lot maybe muddy. I wouldn't say muddier, but it's definitely thicker. See how that maybe affects certain ground balls here in the inning.
Patman ahead, 2-0. Remember, the Ducks were down 4-2. Same deficit, 2 runs against Michigan in Game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday. They rallied for 3 runs to come back and win. Patman, a good start to this at-bat, ahead 3-0 of Lindsay Odell. She's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out in the 2nd and then reached on the fielder's choice in the 4th. The 3-0. Patman takes low. No call to strike. Patman tossed her bat towards Oregon's dugout. Thought she had a walk, but count is now 3-1. Odell's pitch. That one is ball 4. Ducks are going to bring the tying run to the plate. When you're down 2 runs, you always got to think a bloop and a blast. Well, there's your, I guess, bloop. You get a runner on.
This is, again, almost deja vu to how the game happened and transpired on Saturday when Oregon came back and walked off in the bottom of the 7th. It began with a hit by pitch free base runner. This time it's a walk, still a free base runner. And here comes Bracy Rosa to the dish.
Bracy Rosa has been swinging a magic bat this season. Hit a walk-off home run against Illinois on Sunday. First pitch from Odell, downstairs, 1-0. Odell is struggling with command. 5 balls to 1 strike to begin this bottom of the 7th inning as we're going to have a meeting in the circle.
That was part of the plan of attack I was thinking a few innings ago of with Odell coming into the game. Now a couple walks issued, 2 in fact. For this Oregon lineup, that they can stay patient, keep the lineup moving, keep bringing batters to the plate.
I wanted to just talk about the weather real quick. There's our friends from the Quack TV crew, and the temperature 58 right now, winds of 13 miles an hour. And you see that forecast, lots of rain. And they got to play through it because if they had to stop the game every time there was rain in the state of Oregon, they never play. Rosa takes a strike at the knees, 1-1.
They never brought the tarps out. Just let the dirt take in the rain, and here we go.
Patman on first base. Her run doesn't matter. Ducks down by 2. Odell, the righty, fires. Rosa swings and hits that one slowly. Harvell flips it over to second. One, the turn to first, not in time, but LMU cuts down the lead runner. A big first out for the Lions here in the 7th.
Heads up play there by Harvell. I didn't think she was going to have a chance at second base with how softly that ball was hit by Rosa, but still a quick flip over there. Gets the lead runner and Patman at second.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter. Remington Hewitt is going to pinch hit for Kaylin Jones in the 9 spot.
Oregon perhaps looking for a bit more pop from the bat of Hewitt than Kaylin Jones here.
And Remington Hewitt this season has been called to do pinch hitting duties a good bit. Has 4 hits on the year, 4 RBIs. Hit her first home run of the season 2 weekends ago in Piscataway, New Jersey against Rutgers. A pinch runner now in for Oregon as well as they bring in Presley Lawton to take the spot of Bracy Rosa. Ducks looking for one big swing of the bat. They do not have an extra base hit today. Only 2 games where they haven't done that. First pitch to Hewitt. She swings, hits that one slow to third. Gutierrez picks it up. Doesn't have a play. Just going to have to eat it on the infield. Hewitt an infield single, and the Ducks are going to bring the winning run to the plate.
Maybe I have to see a replay again, but I thought maybe Gutierrez would have had a play at first base if she comes up making a throw.
Hewitt
Yeah, just maybe really took the safety side on that play.
Yeah, you know, with the slick infield, probably a wet ball, the last thing you want to do is throw it away. But 2 on with 1 out for Oregon in the bottom of the 7th. Lineup back up to the top. Kai Lushar, the batter, who has had an historic day. Stole 2 bases to tie the single season stolen base record and broke it as well.
And now you got Kaylin Jones, who's going to come back into the game, pinch run for Hewitt at first. So that's a tying run, and Kaylin Jones is one of the fastest players on this Oregon team behind the batter like Kyle Lushar, Paige Shinicki as well, but Jones in her own right, 15 stolen bases this year. She has a lot of speed.
A good speed on the base pass for Oregon. Pinch runner Presley Lawton at second base, and now Kaylin Jones at first, with Kai Lushar at the dish. Still looking for a hit today is Lushar. She's 0 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Ducks looking for a little bit of Monday magic against LMU. Really the biggest threat Oregon's put up offensively since the first inning when they scored 2 runs. First pitch to Kai Lushar. She takes a strike from Odell, 0-1. Odell set. The 0-1. Lushar takes away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Got to think almost anything in play here by Kai Lushar. She has a likelihood of legging it out at first. It's a matter of where the defense goes on the fielder's choice.
Infield in at the corners. The 1-1 skips in. 2 balls and a strike now. Mention Odell has had trouble with the command. Walked the leadoff hitter of this inning in Patman to kick things off. Lushar ahead of her, 2-1. Odell the pitch. Lushar swings and misses. Swung over the top of that one, and it's evened up 2-2.
I think this is Odell's game to finish out here. No one warming up in that Lions pen. It's all up to Odell here to get 2 outs.
The 2-2. Lushar, chopper to shortstop. They're going to go to third base for the force out and cut down the lead runner in Lawton. Good play by LMU. They get another force out, and the Ducks down to their now final out. Lushar reaches on the fielder's choice. Jones up to second as well, but Lawton out shortstop to third for the second out.
Perhaps I was wrong. It looks like Odell's going to get removed here. Performance against Oregon State on Saturday.
Good speed still on the base pass for Oregon. Jones and Lushar. The 1-0. Shinicki swings, lofts this one out towards left center field. It is caught by Lambert, and the game is over. LMU upsets Oregon on a Monday afternoon at Jane Sanders Stadium. They take down the Ducks 5-3, the final. And how about LMU? One of the most successful road trips in maybe their program history. They go 3-0 in the state of Oregon this past weekend, and now stretching into Monday.
Unbelievable. Just limiting this Oregon offense to just 4 hits today. A lot of hard